What's up, Knucklehead? I am Lupine Fiasco, and this is your daily FaB gameplay. For anyone who's new to the channel, welcome to the jungle. What we do here is review replays of games that I played on the Talishar client days or weeks ago after enough time has passed that I lose my bias and can more objectively judge the quality of my play. I'll talk through turn cycles and give my thoughts on the line I would take now compared to the line I took then at the time of recording. We either learn from my mistakes or reinforce good play patterns with the overall goal of tightening and optimizing our gameplay in the future to take down paper events like the upcoming US Nationals and, most importantly, walk away with that shiny cardboard. If you would like to check out the deck I'm playing here or try it for yourself on Talishar, there is a FaB deck link available in the video description below. While you're down there, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel. A YouTube subscription is the best free way to support me and to make sure that you see daily FaB gameplay in your video feed 5 days a week. The best paid way to support me is through Patreon, and a Patreon link is also in the video description. A Patreon subscription will get you access to the DFG Discord and the shiny cardboard Talishar card back. At higher tiers, your name will appear in every DFG video. You'll get bonus DFG content every week, and there are even more benefits to come. Daily FaB gameplay will always be free 5 days a week, so for those who can afford to patronize me, I truly appreciate it. Now, let's talk about our sideboard and about our game plan. I'm back from a few days of vacation, had a lot of fun, but missed being away and honestly missed a lot of the early meta development. Mostly Enigma new. My understanding is that Zen is not getting a lot of love, and the cues that I have seen in the open format really support that. So I was glad to have a good game to show you. Zen, I'm unimpressed. I'm curious to see what he will become, but as of now, he just kind of seems like worse Katsu. I'm developing my sideboard plan for Zen. In this game, we are using the Katsu plan, which has us cutting Cast Bones and Bear Fangs in favor of 6 clashes. As I continue testing against Zen, I think we are going to take the FaB approach and cut Pack Hunt instead of Bear Fangs because we don't really need to block. Zen has great numbers. If he can put some Crouching Tigers together, he can really buff those numbers up, go very wide, and potentially get us with a late Salt the Wound or Tiger Swipe that turns into 4 or 5 more Tigers on a Roar of the Tiger or Art of War or Head Leads Tail turn. But that's very combo-y, and Kayo just doesn't really care about that. We spent 4 months in the heavy hitters meta determining that Kayo is the best numbers deck, and right before Mistveil dropped, we got Savage Sash, which makes Kayo's numbers even better. So we are just racing Zen here, and we really aren't concerned about him hitting. The clashes are a concession to being able to block better than Ninja can, and basically being guaranteed to get value from our clashes. It's very unlikely that we're going to lose a clash against Zen, especially if we are cutting Cast Bones, which puts us on only 3 non-attacks. We are just playing against Ninja. We are racing. This is an aggro mirror. But unlike Katsu, Zen doesn't really have on-hits. We don't care, in particular, if anything hits. Zen's weapon just needs to attack. A lot of Zen's Tiger combo pieces just need to have attacked, follow a Tiger, precede a Tiger. But the on-hit doesn't exist. That on-hit comes in Tiger Swipe. It comes in a few of Zen's attacks, but for the most part, we just kind of don't care. We'll jump into the game and we'll see maybe how we could block a little better overall, but for the most part, we're happy to just send damage and have bigger, better numbers. Having lost the die roll, we are going to go first. I don't love keeping this hand, only because we have 3 reds. If I was just going to arsenal and pass, I would arsenal this pulping and hope to draw into a blue to try and put a decent blood rush turn together. But even that is kind of a big ask, and if we draw into another red or even a yellow, our blood rush turn is not really good. So what I want to do instead is just filter some cards out of my hand. Pulping is a great way to do it. It's unlikely that Zen is going to be able to prevent the damage. Most he is likely going to be able to do is block with a 3 block from hand and take 3 damage. We'll make our might and hopefully get to put something good in arsenal. You're going to see me overpitch Clash of Agility and Blood Rush Bellow. I think that's fine. Having Clash of Agility available to block with would not be the worst thing in the world. At the same time, if we end up keeping it and not a swing big, kind of junky, the risk we take here is that we draw something like a Wrecker Romp and discard our swing big. In that case, at the very least, we could pitch it to attack with Mandible Claw, give Zen another opportunity to filter, but maybe push some damage, and at the very least, we would not have a bad card in our arsenal. So we do hit the jackpot here, keep our swing big, which is going to go safely into our arsenal, and we do, in fact, push some damage over Zen. Just checking the equipment here, we see that Zen is on Traverse the Universe instead of Mask of the Pouncing Lynx. I don't know the hero well enough yet to know what that may mean for how the rest of the deck is constructed, but at the very least, Traverse, finding a Chi, and getting maybe a Tiger Swipe for Zen feels on its face a lot less impactful than breaking Pouncing Lynx for Assault Wound. I'm not unhappy to see it. Good use of resources here. Zen does turn blue and a card into a decent amount of damage. Here we have a Tiger Swipe coming in for 5. I do want to block this. I am interested, I believe I might have edited out the tiger there, but we did get hit by a tiger. I am interested in not letting Zen continue to hit me with tigers, though at the same time, I don't believe the tiger would actually get buffed. More than anything, we just kind of have an extraneous card in our hand. But even watching this back now, I might be inclined to just not block this. Blocking with E-Strike is us trying to get one of our junky cards out of our hand. And ideally, with Wild Ride and 2 blues, we're just going to draw and discard something that doesn't matter, and we keep a blue so that we get to Mandible Claw into Swing Big. It isn't meant to be, unfortunately. We are 1 resource short of that play, so between pitching Send Packing for a Mandible Claw or a Swing Big, we are just going to Swing Big and clear out that arsenal. Pretty far ahead on life here for having gone first, which does not speak well to me of Zen's numbers. Now I know he's got a pretty good fridge over there, armor that blocks 7 between all 4 pieces, which is pretty solid for a ninja. Traverse the Universe, of course, replaces itself, or rather adds a card to hand. Biting Breeze here, 1 with Go Again, that will create a Crouching Tiger in the Banished Zone if it hits. This, I do think that we are supposed to block with Scab Skins. It doesn't feel good to block a 1 power attack with a 2 block piece of equipment. At the same time, that Crouching Tiger does represent 1 point of damage if it's paired with Zen's weapon, and another point of damage if that tiger would be Zen's Shuko trigger. So potentially we are spending 2 points of armor to block 3 points of damage, between 1 from the Biting Breeze and 2 from the tiger. So in hindsight, I actually do like blocking this. I understand the decision not to block it, but overall, I think we do get our value out of preventing this tiger hit, not to mention the rest of Zen's cards that combo with a Crouching Tiger. We've already seen a Tiger Swipe. There are several other cards in Zen's deck. I don't know the names yet, but there is an additional benefit to preventing Zen from making a Crouching Tiger that go beyond just preventing him from having a zero cost, zero power attack. Here we see the Crouching Tiger is worth 2 points of damage, so our Scab Skin block would have saved us 3 points of damage rather than just the 2. Chase the Tail, not comboing well with the Crouching Tiger. This is just 4 damage. We don't need to block it. At this point, we are still looking to just send Pulping Claw 2 for 6. The standard KO line. Worst case scenario is we would draw something and discard this Agile Windup and likely just E-Strike for 7. We do luck out though. We do discard the E-Strike and draw a Runner, so we are going to get to Mandible Claw Runner here and just push a lot of damage. Zen sitting pretty on 5 cards. Notably, he has not transcended yet, so his headpiece just represents 2 points of block value. The boots do turn it into 1 point of block value plus a 6th card in Zen's hand and arsenal. That is spooky. Art of War combining with that Crouching Tiger, or even just any of the numerous combo cards in Zen's deck combining with that Crouching Tiger could be very dangerous. Not something we could have stopped, but is something that we now need to deal with. Blue Bonds of Ancestry. This is going to have go again. Zen very likely having the Mystic Instant that gives target attack go again. If he doesn't, then okay, that's the worst play I've ever seen. Either case, we're not going to block this. Bonds for 2 here with no on hit. It's totally fine. We do see an Art of War come out of Zen's arsenal. Gonna buff that Bonds up to 3. I don't feel bad about not having blocked it. Clash of Agility is just gonna sit and wait for something else. Could we have blocked that Bonds with a Flesh Bag? I say no, only because we know that Zen had a Crouching Tiger in his hand. And at this point in my time against Zen, I really don't want the Flesh Bag to banish a Crouching Tiger. Now, on the one hand, I've spent this entire video talking about all the ways that Zen can use a Crouching Tiger. On the other hand, I want Flesh Bag to banish a finisher or one of Zen's Head Leads Tails. Just him having the Crouching Tiger available means that it can be banished by the Flesh Bag in lieu of a better card. So ideally we are waiting on that Flesh Bag. We want to use it on a big turn, but we don't want to use it when it might hit a Crouching Tiger. And because Zen has so few on hits, we actually do get the luxury of waiting on the Flesh Bag until Zen has played out the Crouching Tiger, as opposed to a hero like Katsu, where it usually is going to be one of the blocks on link 1 or 2 out of necessity. Here we have Zen drawing 3 cards. Not a card I would have expected to see in a ninja deck, but it is going to work out for Zen here. 3 more cards in hand on an Art of War turn is super solid. Biting Breeze here coming in for 3 with go again. This going to get our Clash of Agility. Do we want to overblock? I don't believe so. We could think about putting Agile Windup and Bonebreaker in front of Biting Breeze. We could think about putting Clash and Flesh Bag in front of Biting Breeze. I would like to block with Flesh Bag here, but I don't want to overblock by 2. We could overblock by 1 with Flesh Bag and Scab Skins, and that might be the correct line. I don't know Zen well enough yet to know how often he's going to have the +1. We've already seen an Art of War. Potentially there are 2 more. But is Zen on Ancestral Empowerment? Very likely he has the +1 Mystic Instant, but I don't know yet how important it is to overblock Zen. Here we do get punished. Zen does have the +1. It replaces itself with Inner Chi. Zen is going to get to activate the hero power this turn or make a Zen state, either one. So we likely would have been rewarded by blocking with Fleshbag and Scabskins. We now have this Crouching Tiger that represents at least 1 point of damage. This Crouching Tiger can get the Fleshbag. We lose value by blocking a 1 power attack with a 2 power piece of armor, but we also now prompt Zen to action. We do potentially hit that Crouching Tiger. We have a 25% chance to do so with our Intimidate. We're just hoping that it isn't the case. It seems not. We do luck out as we now see Zen's Crouching Tiger. That tiger is going to get buffed up. Chase the Tail. Again, there is no on hit here. It is just on. So we don't need to block. At this point, I would love to save this hand. We have a blue, a Pack Hunt, and an Agile Windup. If we break Savage Sash here, we do get to play out the entire hand, leading with Pack Hunt and then threatening lethal with Agile Windup. So if I could not block, that would be ideal. Here we have Zen making an interesting call. He had previously attacked with the Tiger Swipe in lieu of the weapon, but by the time he realized that it was the combo on Tiger Swipe was off, we had gone too far. He didn't want to restart the turn. I really respect it. At the same time, this is much better for us. We can take 2 from the staff and put Scabskin Leathers in front of Tiger Swipe here just to mitigate some damage, as opposed to Tiger Swipe, which we actually do need to block. If it was Tiger Swipe, we would block with Agile Windup, Bonebreaker, and Scabskins in order to prevent the combo trigger, the actual on hit that Zen is presenting, because we don't want to get hit by more tigers with Art of War active. At the same time, this does represent the same amount of damage. It's 5 either way. Just one of them we care much more about blocking. The advantage of Zen taking this line is he does not take an intellect penalty. He is able to pitch the E-Strike at home rather than hold on to it and the banished card. Still a misplay, but it's early days. We're all learning how to play against with and against the new heroes. Tiger Swipe has no on hit because the combo is off, so we are going to take the Savage Sash line that I described. Unfortunately, we're only threatening 13 damage here at the same time. That is going to be enough to prompt Zen to do something. He does need to block here in some way. It could be 3 pieces of equipment, it could be 2 pieces of equipment and a card from hand, but Zen cannot just give us equipment. He does need to block with a card. Notably, one of the cards in Zen's hand does not block, and that is the Inner Chi. Now, the Inner Chi will turn into a combo piece and a tiger, but potentially leaves Zen with an awkward hand, now having to block and being intimidated. Zen going up to a 5-card hand. We have 4 cards and 4 life distributed throughout armor. We draw into a pulping and a blue. Unfortunately, we don't have a might. Bonebreaker is going to get our pulping up to 7, but it is not unlikely that Zen has a 3 block to go with his 2 block piece of chest equipment. So pulping for 7 might not get us there. It is unfortunately the best we've got. How do we want to block this Flex Claws? Do we want to overblock or not? Again, I don't know. If we did want to overblock, we block with Swing Big and the Bonebreaker. If we want to block for Exactsies, we block with Bonebreaker and the Windup. Either way, we get our Might token. It is just a matter of, do we want to be able to block for 3 or for 4 on the rest of our turn? In early days, without knowing how likely Zen is to have the +1, I am opting to block Exactsies. We do get punished with that Art of War as an attack reaction. Gonna pump the Flex Claws over the top. Good news is that Zen does not get the Tiger before he needs to banish, so he is going to just be sitting with a Crouching Tiger. Although, excuse me, the Flux Clause puts it into banish anyway, so would not be able to banish the Crouching Tiger to the Art of War. Kakara coming in for 2. We don't need to block because the Crouching Tiger gets +1 either way. This Tiger coming in for 2. We don't need to block because it has no on-hit. We are just saving cards. Ideally, we don't block with anything if we can get away with it, so that we can Pulping Mandible Claw. But we do need to block this Mauling Key. We can block for 4, take exactly 3 points of damage between the 2 and the 1 from the Mauling Key on hit, and hope that our Pulping does not draw discard a Beast Within off the top of the deck, and that Zen does not have a 3 block with which to block the Pulping. The first is manageable, the second is a pretty big ask, so we are going to see if we get lucky. Step 1, complete. We did not discard a Beast Within. Step 2, complete. Zen does not have a 3 block with which to block the Pulping, unless he has something, he's dead. His Sacred Art is not going to get him there. First of all, not all 3 modes are on, so the most Zen can do with it is Transcend. The problem with Transcending is that in order to break the chest piece, Zen needs to remove it as a blocker, which means that, yes, he makes a Zen state, but is effectively only blocking 1 instead of 2. In either case, he needs to block 3 to not die, and is unable to do so. So we do pick up the win in what was a very close game. Our average value per turn was much higher than Zen's was. At the same time, we barely won. Part of that, I think, came to some bad blocks on my part, just part of the learning curve, and I think my flesh bag was a little late for what ended up happening. Zen's turn was obviously insane, and had I banished the Tome and prevented him from drawing 3 cards, we have much more life at the end of this game. Some bad blocks earlier with the Tigers, but that's all part of the learning curve. It does lead me to what I had said at the start of the strategy section here, is that I just don't think Zen is better than Katsu, especially not against Kayo. I think Kayo just has better numbers than Zen does, and we saw Zen put 2 Art of Wars together across 2 turns, play a Tome and draw 3 cards. We saw a Blood Rush that we then pitch at the start of the game, and no other Blood Rushes. I don't feel like we had an insane turn at all, and we still presented a lot of damage and got the win. Zen is going to change. He does have a loyal fan base. There are going to be iterations, and I think I've heard of Zen decks who are winning games in 3 turns. So the potential for us to lose is there, but I see him being about as challenging as FaB is, as opposed to Katsu. And you can quote me on that in a month when Zen is the powerhouse deck to beat and just trouncing KOs. But until that time, I'm much more worried about New and especially Enigma than I am about Zen. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If so, be sure to take that like button to Pound Town. My comments are always open for any questions or feedback. If you haven't already done so, please consider a YouTube subscription. It's free. It helps me out. But no matter what you do, catch me back here tomorrow for more daily FaB gameplay and more Part the Mistveil. And until then, take care.